This poster dates back to the early 1950s, and the message that's being delivered here is don't waste food. And it's really a very universal message. We could imagine this poster being used all over the world. And if you look at it stylistically, the artwork is very similar to the famous Norman Rockwell posters from the early 1940s in the US.
So this was just a public service announcement at the time?
Correct, yes. I mean, it's propaganda, but it's propaganda that is not political. It's more social. It's for the benefit of the country and the people in the country.
This poster was printed before the Cultural Revolution. This next poster after that tumultuous time, and you can see it's more red, more patriotic, isn't it?
Correct, that's right. And more symbolism as well. We see the red book at the top there. And we see the happy farmer on what would have been the latest model tractor at the time. It's delivering a very positive message again. But you're right, the red comes through very strongly.
Now, from these set of images, let's go on over to the next set of images that really showcase the cult of Mao.
That's right. Okay, well, what's interesting here is this poster dates to the late 1960s. And before that, most of the propaganda posters had been produced centrally by the government, either in Beijing or in different provinces. But by this time of disarray within the country, actually university students, Red Guards, all sorts of people took on what they felt was their responsibility to produce posters. And this is much simpler. There's a much simpler color palette. We just have red and black.
Because they could be mass-produced that way.
Exactly, and they could be produced on much simpler printing presses as well.
Now, this next image, we see Mao Zedong, the chairman, as the sun. He is literally a deity. How was this image received at the time?
I think that these would have been accepted and received very well at the time. This is early Cultural Revolution period. This is still when things were perceived within the country as heading in the right direction. It was not towards the end and the disarray period. But you will see these images with Mao up in the clouds, or Mao looming down over his people as a sort of happy uncle, went right through from the late 60s into the mid 70s.
And the next image over here, what was the intended audience for this Chinese propaganda poster?
Okay, well, this one's completely different because this poster actually I sourced in the US, and this one was produced for an overseas market. As we can see at the bottom, aside from just Chinese script, it's in English and French and German. And these posters would have been purchased or sent to bookstores in the US and in Europe for on sale to people who were interested and supportive of the Cultural Revolution outside of the country.
So this is designed for the US market during the Cultural Revolution?
Correct, and into the mid-70s as well.
Right now, Hong Kong is going through a period of major political discord. So this is a very, very interesting image. What's happening here? Okay, well, in the background we can see the gates at Government House and the railings at Government House, and protesters standing outside, and they're pinning up all sorts of slogans. And these character slogans were used in China as well as in Hong Kong. And here, down in the bottom left-hand corner, we see what's probably the governor and a Hong Kong policeman being kicked out and beaten upon by the crowds. Now, we know from the photographs of the era that there were crowds outside Government House, and here is a poster that was produced in China, probably smuggled into Hong Kong, and used to try and rally the support among the patriotic Chinese who were living in Hong Kong. This is incredible. So this is a poster of the 1967 riots in Hong Kong that was printed and published in mainland China to basically foment anger in Hong Kong. Correct, yes. I have another one, not this, but another poster from this era, and actually I have a photograph of that poster hanging up in a Chinese-backed department store in Hong Kong. So we know that these were used in Hong Kong. We've seen that. Do they succeed in bringing out the tension and bringing out the fervor? In the poster, I think so. The poster image is very, very strong. I mean, you can see this man in the center standing here with a stool that he's trying to beat down. We've got bottles, we've got sticks, we've got huge muscular men there. I think graphically it's a fascinating poster. And finally, an image over here, a little bit more contemporary, of the Hong Kong handover. Walk me through all the symbols here. Okay, well, this is very patriotic. Of course, Deng Xiaoping, the architect of the 1984 agreement. And here's a poster that was issued primarily for use in China at what they consider to be a very happy and historically important time at the time of the handover. In the bottom, we can see Hong Kong. At the top, we have the Great Wall of China. We have balloons, which for many years has been a symbol of festivity and celebration. We have Tiananmen Square, and we have Deng Xiaoping. And this was an image at the time widely seen inside mainland China. In Hong Kong? I don't remember ever seeing this in Hong Kong. Yeah, I don't think they would have it out here. No, I don't think so. And I found this poster in China.